Back to 2. I bet. And Beloved's Curse, I'm a fan of reading Grimdark. Doing this one because I want to do something else different. Hopefully, I don't have to blur a lot of cuss words. But it's about a lost narrator. So, yeah. Yeah. Who doesn't love a good story? I do. But would there be a lot of editing for me to do? More than likely. Let's just get into this. Let's just see what we got. By the way, look out Friday. Fridays at Freddy's. I'm excited for it. I really am excited for that jump. Hello, yeah, that's right, yeah. All I'm drinking out of this bottle. Got it.
I still think that this story of the lost narrator is just an old pony tale. The lost narrator became a piece of history and myth and lore.
What's it called again? A Beloved's Curse. Okay.
She is a narrator of stories.
There's gonna be cussing in this. I can tell.
Them are lost.
I'm lost.
Maybe she narrates stories because she herself is lost.
Yeah.
Hardly any pony remembers curse word. The odd, lonely pony who left her hometown and
I heard that. That's what. Gonna be a lot of those.
Is a something, not a some pony. She's just fear and regret and dark bitterness masquerading as a do-gooding incarnate. She is a lost soul, but still, her fate is nothing
I'll chew in y'all's ears.
compared to the loss.
Hopefully y'all can't hear that, but if y'all can,
of a beloved.
I will. Don't laugh at me! Don't laugh at me! Don't laugh at me.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey there. It's all right. No need to freak out. There you are. See? That wasn't too bad, was it? Ponies tend to hype up the transition all the time as this big, terrifying process, and really, it's more like, well, that. Don't worry, that strange, airy feeling will go away any second. And
Stop
there
looking.
we go.
Stop looking at my soul.
I see that look on your face. You don't know me, and, well, you're not really supposed to. I'll just get that out.
I do know you. I don't like it.
Right off the bat. It's always the same questions, really. Where am I? Who are you? What was up with Miss Masky Pants and all of her evil rage? Well, I'm stopping this one before it happens and answering all of the questions so you don't have to pester me. Okay?
I won't pester
My
you.
name is...
Who are you?
Well, my name doesn't really matter since
Yes, it
no
does.
pony can
Magpie
remember
Pony.
it. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I'm the pony that she referred to as Beloved. Now, that's not my actual name, but I think it's more of a nice term. It's better than my real name anyway. Oh, did I not tell
really.
you? You're
But okay.
supposed to follow me, silly. Come on. I know the way. I've only walked it like a million times.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
one more. And don't worry, I don't bite. I'm just that sort of in-between guide, I guess you could say. Things in the afterlife have to be all complicated. You can't just go
Afterlife?
from one place to the other. You have to journey there. It's strange, but it's true.
I don't want to journey there,
One of the ponies
though.
who passed through here once called it purgatory.
I don't want to.
I like saying that. Purgatory. Sounds kind of neat.
You're not
Anyway,
Pinkie Pie.
So yeah,
You
I'm
might
not
can do her
an
voice.
angel.
It's not Pinkie Pie, so
Though I did
stop
pretend
it.
to be one a couple of times. I even tried the whole thee, thy, thou thing. But it kind of blew up in my face when I accidentally let out a not so angelic word. Oh well. So by this point you're thinking, well,
Don't
I'm
do that
dead,
now, though.
and I'm following Curse Word's dead lover to wherever I'm supposed to go. This totally isn't weird at all. Since we have nothing but time up here, I guess it would probably be a good idea if I
So I'm dead.
fill in the gaps.
Please.
Some ponies like to hear the whole story. They said it makes their death seem more fulfilled, I guess. Like they're the only ones in on this big magical secret about where Curse Word's lover is, and they know things that she doesn't. Kinda takes the sting out of dying a little, don't you think? So, once upon a time, a cute little filly was born, and
Rarity.
a bunch of stuff happened. The end.
That's Rarity.
Riveting, right? All right. I'll tell you the real story.
Kinda like it, at
I
least.
just like to see ponies' faces after I hype it up, and then I give them that. I came from...
You're evil.
You know what? It doesn't really matter where I came from.
Yes, it does.
None of the other events, moments compared to when I met Curse Word. It's probably the first and the only really true best moment in my past. of
Come
any
from Shelby, North
consequence.
Carolina.
I
I did.
ended up in that little town, homeless. Don't ask me why, and don't give me pity. I wasn't some kind of beggar pony. I just didn't have a literal home. I was
That's called homeless. You're a beggar.
wanderer.
I'm sorry.
This was the first place that I felt safe. That little
Yay.
town had some
I
real
feel safe.
potential to be a home if I could
But
just
I'm dead, so I don't have to feel pain at
manage to get
all.
some work there.
Let's go
I
to the hill.
searched all
Then I'm
over for some
dead.
kind of job, but as usual, I found myself gravitating towards bookstores and libraries.
You're not Twilight.
Oh, didn't you see my cutie mark? Yeah, I guess I was something of a writer.
Let me see that
Doubt
booty.
you'd know many of my stories, though.
It's the real. I gotta shut up.
Eventually, I found the library.
Wait a minute.
And I met the paradox of a pony that was the librarian. She never had a kind word to say to me, nor did a
I
kind
typed that
deed
wrong.
outside
What's your
of
cutie mark?
hiring me that day. You know, I'm not
What's
even
your
sure
cutie
why
mark?
she did it.
I
though I
forgot.
suspect that she had
That's
some
a
kind
weird
of intern
pose.
that couldn't take her attitude and left in a huff before I showed
What
up.
is that? That
Either way, she was a real pain. But I
Stop
was
it.
happy enough just to have somewhere to belong.
That's a terrible image.
Then
That's
I
freaking.
saw...
What are
her.
you?
I
That's a
know,
quill,
I know,
okay.
That sounds really cliche. But you're dead and
Hey,
I'm cursed,
Scribbler, I
so
see your
that's
butt
not
there.
cliche.
I'm
I don't
sorry,
know
that's
what
kind
is.
of weird.
She was just so different from other ponies that I've
I'm
seen.
different.
I had some
I'm also
difficulties
ugly.
trusting ponies those days, but I felt myself gravitating towards this storyteller. I wished you could have seen the way those foals' eyes lit up when she brought to life the story she wove. It was like witnessing miniature fairy tales coming true right there in the comfort of the library. If I wasn't in love with this town before, I certainly was then. I
Talking about
honestly
Lost?
didn't plan on talking
Because
to her
we're-
that day. I was a little too shy to do so. Actually, a lot of shy.
I just beat in the
I had a
background.
hard time back then talking to other ponies in the
I could
library,
this bar. I could.
or even just any ponies in general.
I can spit bars on this beat. Don't try me.
It was during that time that I tended to keep to myself more than anything, so when I caught her eyeing me from
I don't know
across
what
the room-
I don't know what's wrong with me. I just said some random. Y'all hype for Friday? What the freak was that? Y'all hype for Friday? Friday the 26th of the Amendment. Y'all ready to die? I am.
room as she was telling a story to the foals. You can imagine how nervous I was. Now that I think
I'm not
about
nervous
it,
at
I
all.
don't even remember the story she was telling at the
Hey
time.
girl, how
but
you
I do remember the
doing?
Look in her eyes.
Oh, stuttering.
They
It's
were
all right.
gentle,
I'm not nervous
deep
at all. You're nervous at
She
all.
would
Huh?
close her eyes and let the
Oh.
magic just engulf the fools as she brought the scene to life for them. And as their little hearts filled with magic, she opened her eyes and smiled back at me. It's funny because even now, just
Okay, I'm back. Hi.
thinking about that, I still get the warm fuzzies.
No.
After she had finished her
warm
time with the
fuzzies.
foals, she trotted over. She wasn't afraid to
Fuzzies?
introduce herself, and soon
No
enough,
these.
she gave me the gossip about the boss I already hated. She was so charming, I guess is the word. And I
No.
was so frazzled.
No.
I wasn't used to some pony being kind right off the bat. Still,
Okay.
I know you can already tell that I'm a talker, so it didn't take long to pretty
Yeah,
much get me to
you're a
spill the
talker.
important bullet points of my story.
I'm not
She
a
didn't
talker
seem
though.
bored or deterred by it
I
either,
am dead
which for me was another
in
odd thing.
purgatory,
Before I ended up in that little town, I wasn't
which in real life does not exist, by the way. Just
allowed
letting you know,
to
but
talk
it's okay.
so much, so it was nice. Have you ever heard
Yay!
that saying, "Mare friends move in on the second date"? Well,
No!
I think we kind of started that one. She
Let's
found
see,
out that I
gross
was
up.
staying in a not-so-great place. Won't go into details on that. And she opened her door. Just like that.
What?
She insisted, since
Well,
I didn't
I ain't
really
say
have
none.
anywhere else to go. And I was a proper roommate. I did my share and more.
I mean, if
The
y'all
cleaning
wanna
and the
do it.
cooking, kind of hoping
The
that
freak
would
is wrong with
compensate
me?
for the quick move. And soon enough, it was as if we'd lived in that little house together all along, and we just
I got
didn't know
issues.
it. It just came naturally, I guess.
Y'all do too, though.
Did you know
Y'all
that
do
I'm
too.
actually the first pony to figure out curse words, special talent? The real special talent? I think it was my love of puns that made me realize it's the words themselves that could curse. And I knew that because of her eyes. Now, before you go thinking she was always destined to ruin lives with that
I gotta
talent
cuss.
of
I gotta
hers,
blur out a
you
lot
should
of this.
know, the talent was what made that town so perfect. Her power was good, and she used it
What
for good.
power?
She just didn't
Power
know
of
it
cussing?
existed, and I
Probably.
didn't want to upset the balance. She was kind of oblivious to things around her. Sometimes I swear she just thought she lived in this little bubble with her and nothing
What
else
is
mattered,
this?
but I paid attention.
Hello, I'm the nostalgic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
Excuse me, sir. Wrong video. Excuse me. Wrong video. Hello?
That town so perfect.
Nostalgia Critic, you'll be in the next video, not this one. So butt off.
Her power was good, and she used it for good.
To
She
interrupt.
just didn't know it existed,
No.
and I didn't want to upset the balance.
Stay out of here.
She was kind of oblivious to things around her, ponies here and there, or even changes to the town itself, and it was always just for the better. I saw her causing this, just by her mere words.
Oh,
If she said and willed it to be, it came true. And her
Oh.
eyes were the
Oh.
biggest indication that something awful was
sounded
about
weird.
to happen.
Shut up.
So
Shut up.
knowing all of this, I didn't want to give her the weight of the responsibility of her own gift. I kind of took it upon myself
Give me a
instead.
gift.
If there was something that
What
needed
is
a
wrong
little
with me?
love
I
or
got
happiness,
issues.
I would just steer her in the right direction, and
Dra-
somehow her magic would just do the
Through a
rest.
ditch. Through a
Of
ditch
course,
and a
living with
ditch.
her, I got to see firsthand how amazing that power was, but
No.
it wasn't the power that I loved. It was her. She had one of the
Aw,
kindest and most giving
that's
hearts
so
anyone in that town.
sweet.
And for some reason, she loved me. There was never a single doubt in my mind just how much Kirsty loved me. She really did mean it when
That's so sweet. Siri said, I'm not sure I understand. Keep that in mind, woman. I'll keep that in mind.
she said with her
Shut
whole
up.
heart. To be honest, I still wonder to this day.
Any
when
Apple
women like
users
her
ready for
even saw
iOS
anything.
26?
So far, everything.
They know how to count. 18, 26. That's how it goes.
Well, you're dead.
They
so
know how
I
to
didn't
count.
want the first thing you heard to be dark and depressing.
They know
I
how to
guess,
count.
Though, this
Don't
is the
question
part
them.
of the story that gets a little on the plot twist side.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
nothing in
spaghetti
life is
hole.
perfect, so there has to be
I
a
got
catch-22
issues.
somewhere. It's not like Curse could just keep everything perfect forever. That's not how
Well,
life
nah.
works.
It's called
This
death. That
life
exists.
we had built, and this town that was a slice of heaven was suddenly tainted
Oh,
and
no.
stained, like when you drop
Oh.
an inkwell on your coat. Kirsty's coat was darker than mine, so it wouldn't be as obvious.
Way darker.
When I would drop just even the tiniest bit of ink on my pink coat, well, it wouldn't come out for weeks. It was kind of
Dang.
the same thing. I had finally found a place to call my own. It was mine, and she showed up. Just another one of the mothers dropping her full off for one of the famous storytellings at the library. She didn't even see me, nor did she see the pile of books that suddenly dropped along with my stomach.
Do you like the stories, though? Don't you like the stories, bro? What's going on?
I wanted to run. I didn't want to be there anymore. I could feel my heart wanting to jump into my throat, and that moment, I had just found this place, and now I felt like I needed to flee from it. But I couldn't leave Curse. So I did the only
Someone tell me why my neck is still longer than this pony's neck. Someone tell me why and how.
other thing a
Random thought,
logical
sorry.
and rational-minded mare would do. I stalked her home to see where she lived. And there it was. The perfect little house on the perfect little lane, so
Pretty what?
perfectly placed in the heart of her perfect little world. A pretty little garden with perfect
Who are you talking? You're not talking about Lost, because we're you're talking about someone else that you don't like very much that you're about to kill. Looks like they killed you first.
rows of
I'm
flowers
shutting
out
up.
front, and white painted shutters that perfectly matched the cream color of her house. It was so perfectly sickening.
Yay.
And fate loves to deal all the perfect little cards at once, right? I just happened to see her new little house stallion.
If you're gonna
leave
get
her out front
mad-
with nothing but smiles.
Why don't you shut up right now so I don't have to hear it?
I don't even know how she scored a stallion like that. She had once told
I'm
me
sorry.
she would never be with a stallion in all of her life. So for her, this...
Are you talking about cuss word? She cheat on you now? No. I must have missed
Oh.
something.
You don't know what house stallion means, do you? It's not really a familiar term, I know, but trust me, if there was a working pony in that household, it would be her. For his sake, I prayed he could at least cook. I remember getting home that night and just how agitated and closed off I was from Curse. She
Yeah.
couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and it really took a toll on her. I kept trying to convince her that I was all right, and trying to force my brain to move on, but
Not all right.
it just wouldn't. I believed in healing, moving forward. I was
That's how
past
murders
all of
happen,
this,
people.
But I
Hide
wasn't.
truth, you get
The
slaughtered.
thought
That
of
is
her
the truth.
just breathing the same air as me in that town
saying.
made my
Just
stomach
saying.
clench. I was running and hiding. I had done everything in my power to get away from that mare. And now that I'd
What
been
mare?
found, in a sense,
Because no one cares. I'm
all those
sorry.
fears
That was a
just came
joke.
crawling back like those black ink stains that never really fade away. I
Facts,
wanted
facts.
that town to just be mine and Curse's. I didn't need her
That's
there
not how
spreading
that
like some
works.
black cancerous being that I could never escape from. That night, Curse
It's been 13 minutes. Have
insisted on helping
I heard one
us
cuss
all.
word. Ha.
She hated seeing
I
me
just
so
jinxed it.
distraught and unnerved.
I jinced it. I
It
jinced
didn't
it.
help that I closed myself
I
off to
jinced
her
it.
about what was
Go.
really wrong. I just kept repeating myself to her. There was nothing she could do. But even in saying that, she said she'd figure out a way. If that mare could move mountains for me, she would have.
Only God can move
But
mountains.
in that moment, I realized there
Preach.
kind of was a way that she could help. You see, Curse's magic wasn't always for good. Well, obviously.
Huh?
Her moods
No,
often
not
reflected
obviously.
mine. If I had had a horrible nightmare or something and I closed myself off to her,
Call Luna.
it would dishearten her.
Princess Luna.
My moods always seemed to spread onto her.
Coming.
No matter how
boom.
hard I tried to keep her
No,
away
I don't know
from
what that
my
means. I don't know what that
thoughts
means. I
and
don't know what that
emotions.
means. Okay, I don't know what that
This
means.
would usually leave
Shut up.
her in a pretty sour mood. The first time I can remember it actually
Love y'all.
happening, she was trying to cross the road towards the library, and this wagon ran past us, nearly trampling her and I both.
Wow.
I remember she screamed at the stallion pulling the wagon.
I'm like a
"You
body.
almost hit us, you prick! I hope you crash that thing!" I do a pretty good curse word impression, don't you think?
Didn't
It was
cuss though.
then that her
Please
eyes did
don't.
That shimmer thing, and I knew that this meant trouble. I don't think the stallion heard her over the rumble of his wheels, but once Curse was in the library, the wagon actually did crash. I watched it go straight into a ravine.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought about something. Wow, I'm actually getting some more about these people. Curse word. Not cuss, like, not curse, probably like as in F-E-C-K, B-I-T-C-H, S-H-I-T, D-D, the worst one of them all. But, not like that type of curse word, but like curse word. Whatever she says, it's a curse, and it will happen. I can't see nothing but like past right somewhere right here. It's blurry.
Poor Stallion's possessions were scattered to the wind. He was okay, but I was shocked, to say the least. But it didn't take
How do you
long
crash
for the
a
shock
wagon?
to wear off.
You're
before
pulling
I
it.
realized
How do you crash
this
it
might
when
be
you're
the thing
pulling
I
it?
need to finally move on with my life. This Curse's power. I could use it to shatter her perfect little world. I could be free from all those sleepless nights trying to forget a past that continued to creep into my mind. I could actually move on.
Did
be a
she not give you the
functional man,
thing? Like,
be a
what
better love friend for
happened?
Curse. I wanted that more than anything.
What happened
It'd
between?
have to be clever, though. Something she couldn't trace back to me, if or when she ever did see me. Trust me, I was an expert at hide and don't seek.
I don't
Fought
understand. I
long
missed
and
something
hard for a way
big.
to ruin her.
She must have
But
didn't
it
give you
wasn't
the thing.
until
I don't know
watched
what
her drop
happened.
off
I
her
gotta
foal
shut
that
up.
it finally hit me like a brick wall. Her colt. He was just like all the other foals enchanted by my Curse's stories. He'd do anything to impress her. And I would do anything to ruin his mother's life. See,
Comment down below if you've been keeping track, because clearly I have not. Ben. I keep good track though. Can my chair stop stooping
Chris was in one of those moods again, and I kind of waited until she was. The night before, I lied to her. I woke up in the middle of the night claiming to have another nightmare, and she, of course, wanted to stay up with me and try to help. I purposely closed myself off to her so that it would upset her. I know that sounds terrible, but I had my reasons. It helped that she was already kind of up in hooves with the fact that one of her foal's parents had complained. One of the recent stories she told was a bit too dark for their liking. She was so excited about the stories.
Go home and cry about it.
I think she
Get out of here.
Accidentally
Don't care.
taken some influence from them unintentionally. If there was one thing Curseword couldn't stand, though, it was being told that a story was bad and being told what to tell next. So I may have suggested to that little colt that he insist on a new story for her to tell. It just kind of worked to my benefit that he didn't like the ones she was telling at the time anyway. And I also may have told him to use colorful language that he'd heard her use a few times when she thought she was out of earshot.
You know she can curse him, right?
I mean, come on.
You know she can curse him, right?
Word. To some degree, I thought she might get a good laugh out of that. On a good day. But this wasn't a good day.
No!
So instead, she snapped. The way she glared at that little colt. Her eyes have never been that bright before. They almost glowed a fiery red, so much that the little colt could have just burst into flames at that moment.
Probably will.
I'd never seen her that angry before. I know
we have
Curse,
now, buddy.
Even though she threatened him with his mother and soap, she would have ripped into that child. But it was all worth it to me at the time. I didn't care.
You're stupid.
I wanted to ensure that I got results.
About what?
Later that night, I made Curse dinner, and I tried my best to comfort her, but it was kind of hard to do.
So you're gonna comfort her or kill her? What are you gonna do?
Based on the fact that I was over the moon. It was just a matter of time now. I could imagine the next day hearing from the locals that the little colt had broken his foreleg or something. Anything to shatter that perfect little world of hers. I wanted to relish in her agony.
Yeah, hold up. I'm not comprehending what I am hearing. You're saying you want other ponies to suffer to try to ruin the Lost Narrators, aka Cursewords, perfect little... Comment down below if you know the lore, because I do not. What?
And I did. That night, I was pretending to be sleeping. I finally heard the scream, the one that I had been waiting to hear since I planned this. I'd never felt so much satisfaction and relief all at once. I heard her panicked, terrified wails echo through the town. And for once, she was the one who was hurt. She was the one who was crying and distraught. She was the one who was ruined. But then I heard that little colt scream.
What?
It hit me.
He's dead, yeah.
Eye-piercing screams I still can't seem to forget to this day.
He's dead.
Why was he screaming? What exactly had Curse's power done? Something had happened and I caused this.
Yes!
I'd have given anything to take it back.
No, you wouldn't have.
Curse was the one shaking me awake to see if I'd heard it. She insisted something was wrong and that we needed to follow the screams. I raced with her through the town to see what had become of the poor thing, and... well, this part you know. I couldn't bring myself to go upstairs with her to see what had happened. I could hear curse words screaming, demanding to know why. It was then that I heard a thud and a crash. I remember how silent everything was after that. Deafening, and it lingered over that whole night. Curse slowly came back down as we waited outside for the authorities and the other town's ponies. She told me that she had punched the mare upstairs and knocked her out. If I had known it was that easy, I would have just told her everything from the beginning. I still remember the look on her face. She blamed herself for this. All of it. Things got worse from there.
Oh, really?
I
You don't
receded,
stay!
punishing myself in silence for the horrendous act that I had created. It was all my fault,
But
and
why,
I couldn't
though?
bring myself to tell Curse. I couldn't tell any pony what I'd done.
Yeah, 'cause you go to
If I
prison.
did, Curse
Selfish
would have been
Pete.
at fault as well, and I didn't want to ruin what little we did have left of this perfect life.
There ain't no perfect life.
Yes,
No perfect life.
she was now being punished for murdering her own foal, but at what cost? Not only
Dang.
did I end a precious, innocent life, but now, Curse, she'd been tainted. Not to mention she was aware of it now. her
Been
power,
tainted because of you!
and became obsessed with it. All that time I tried to keep the burden from her shoulders was for nothing, and no matter what I tried, she wouldn't let it go. She just kept going on and on and on about it. It
Yeah.
was cute that she
You
thought I
ruined
had
her-
no clue.
Cute! What did you say?
It was cute that she thought I had no clue.
You're a
I'd known
psychotic.
about it all along.
Uh-huh.
There were so many secrets between the two of us.
So,
It seemed so perfect.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna leave, okay? I'm just gonna leave. You, on the other hand, are gonna stay and not follow me, because if you follow me, I have to take matters into my own hands. I'm not scared to. You understand me now, buddy? I will kill you. Hee. So I'll see you later.
On the outside, but deep
Damn.
down we held on to these
be?
stupid secrets because we thought it would hurt one another if we knew the truth. When you have time, like me, to think things over, eventually everything seems to become crystal clear. The night when it happened,
Stop staring in my
I
soul.
remember that probably
Stop it.
clearer than anything
Magpie,
else.
stop staring in my
It was
soul.
our anniversary.
Mag,
We
I'm gonna load up a
always
mag. I'm
celebrated
gonna
it.
lower a mag
It
inside
meant
of you,
so much
mag.
to her too.
I'm
considering how
sorry.
she
I don't know
was
what's wrong with me. I'm
She
sorry.
Never, I mean, never forgot about that. How could she?
Of course she.
It was silly for me to get so upset about that. And at that point, she had
Yeah.
just reached her limit.
You well.
She wasn't taking care of
Almost said you were hentai. Listen. You yandere. That's what it's called. Hopefully.
herself, and she was so paranoid about everything she did. She closed herself off, and I just couldn't sit there and take it anymore. I mean, I worked so hard that night to try and cheer her up. But when she showed up at the door with nothing except a dumbfounded look on her face, I just lost it. I got so frustrated and angry. But when I really think about it, I wasn't angry at her for forgetting the anniversary. I was angry at myself. I had caused this. I had caused her to turn into this shell of a pony. So I lashed out at her, and I didn't hold back. I had just had enough of everything. But so had she. I hated the fact that she found out about that power.
And that's
I
how you
hated
died.
that she had come to this town. Of all the towns. I hated the fact that I dwelled on something so horrible that I couldn't even realize I had something amazing in front of me. I had become consumed by it. Curse just stood there. I could see her wincing at my words. They stung. She tried her best not to raise her voice at me, but every pony has their limits. It wasn't until I accused her of not truly loving me that I really hurt her. It's such a silly thing to even think about. I mean, she's still searching for me after all these years.
But you
I
did.
was just running high on emotions, and let's be honest, I wasn't thinking. It was
Really?
then that Curse shouted back at me,
No, what? Uh-oh.
and those eyes of hers, those crimson eyes just glimmered, and I stared unblinking. It was in that exact moment that I knew what she had done. They shimmered so intensely, far more than any other time I had seen.
Put a curse on you.
And when she stormed off upstairs,
Yep.
that's when everything began to fade to black. That murky black ink began to spread everywhere. I was screaming, yelling for her to come back, but it was already too late. And you know, it was my own fault too.
Yeah.
Everything that happened
I
up
knew
to
that
that
from the
point was
start.
on my shoulders, and it was my weight to carry.
Yep.
I had destroyed anything left when I used her for the sake of my own petty revenge.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a fair punishment for the crime I committed. I was convinced that this was, well, you know, the place you go
Why did
in
music
the
stop?
downward direction.
Why did music stop?
The thing is, I could still
Okay,
see her
that was weird.
sometimes. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true.
You
The
jump scared me, I
murkiness
swear. I have a
occasionally
feeling.
fades away, and I can see her. I thought it was the murkiness just fooling me, like tempting me with something I can't have, but it really was her. She looked so miserable. I
Really?
watched her as she changed into that bitter, hollowed thing that you saw earlier. She can't see me. She can't hear me either, despite how much I've tried calling out to her. I've watched her this whole time. The times she's traveled trying to find me, the moments she thought she was genuinely alone, crying to herself about how she ruined me. Us. This was the worst torture of all, watching her fall further and further away from what she was because of me.
Yeah.
If only
Because of
I
you.
could just tell her that I'm right here. I
But
haven't
you're
left
not.
her side this whole
You're
time.
dead.
Well, with the exception
so
of
am I,
taking you
apparently.
ponies to the other side, but she doesn't get it. I'm still here. I'm always going to be here. What I wouldn't give to just say that I'm sorry and that I still love her. And yes, even with her looking like that, I don't care. She'll always be my Kersey. It was around the time when she really started lashing out at other ponies that they started showing up here. You know, the dead ones. For a second, I honestly thought that I was dead, but it wasn't until I tried to follow one of them to the other side that I realized I'm just stuck. I can't go anywhere. I'm always here,
That was the curse she put on you.
waiting for something to change. Maybe she needs to do something on her end, or maybe there's something on mine. Either way, I'm not able to leave this black murkiness. But you know what?
Why are you
Being a
smiling?
donor doesn't get a pony anywhere.
I
So I have to believe that there's a way for me to get out somehow.
Well, good luck with that.
I guess you could say I
See
still
ya.
have some kind of hope.
Nope.
Not much of it, mind you. But still. And it was apparent very quickly that this place doesn't work the same as Equestria.
Really?
Time doesn't mean anything here.
Yeah.
I met pony number 711, and he was born 300 years apart from you, number 712. Oh, don't bother. And he was born 300 years apart from you, number 712. Austria. Time doesn't mean anything here. I met pony number 711, and he was born 300 years apart from you, number 712.
What?
Oh, don't bother me with your name. I won't remember it anyway. Still, I did get to see Curse's regression on a fairly time-correct scale, and it broke my heart every time. But she's become this broken husk of what she was, wearing that stupid mask and just hurting all of those ponies. Part of me even wonders if she feels remorse anymore, like she's been consumed with sorrow.
I'm sure
I don't
not.
think she knows right from wrong, or even cares.
He-
I knew there
Demon.
was no going back when she
All you
killed
need to
that
know.
first group of travelers.
Demon.
All she wanted to do
All you
was
need to know,
relive those
buddy.
good years, but of course they weren't going to have any of that.
Nope.
You know, she doesn't even try to tell them stories like that anymore. The nice ones,
Oh, really?
memories of her and I. It's always just grim and death now.
Why would she try to tell
I miss
stories
the
of you and
stories
her?
brought to life. Not just by magic with her horn, but
She's still telling stories.
magic inside
Is she
all
a
of us.
demon?
the hope that anything was possible.
No.
I guess what I'm trying to say is...
All thing is
I'm
possible through
trying to
Jesus
right
Christ our
that
Lord, though.
wrong.
Philippians
You're
4:13. I hit my
She
nose.
killed you with her own
Scared me.
words, and that's why I'm here. To help you poor ponies get somewhere where these stories can't hurt you anymore. Well, here's our stop. See, I've got this thing timed out perfectly for our little journey here. I hope that answered a few of your questions, though I'm sure you have hundreds more.
I have at least one
And
more.
I want you to know that
Why'd you
I
hate
am
us so much?
sorry. Sorry that you had to cross over to this. Sorry that you had to hear one of the twisted tales I wrote those many years ago.
No.
And sorry that, well, that I lied.
No. Nope. I hear that music. I don't want no part of it. I don't know. I don't want a part of it. Stay in your lane. I'll stay in mine. Got it. Thank you. You scare me, I swear.
Oh, I wasn't lying about my story. It would...
Stop. It's probably nothing, but my eyes are watering like crazy. I hear that creepy music. I hear your creepy voice.
kind of be
creepy voice.
difficult to lie about all of that. It's true. But...
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No.
remember that light that you were headed towards earlier? Well, I couldn't have you wandering off towards it. You're far too important to me for that. Besides, ponies who end up here always seem to love hearing stories. What better way to get you to follow me than with a story? You have been
Woo!
a very good listener, pony number 712. There are some ponies who don't always listen to me the whole way. They leave and they follow that light in the middle. So rude. But not you. No, you stayed and you listened and now you're
I don't
here.
want to listen.
Oh, you should know, I've kind of made a little bit of a deal that I have to hold up my end of the bargain. The more souls I get, the happier he is. And the happier he is, the sooner I can get back to be with my beloved again. I need to break this curse so that I can fix everything. You know, he even said if I get a few more, I might be able to completely revert her back. So, if anything, your death wasn't in vain. At least you got to hear a story again before the end. Who doesn't love a good story? So, I am sorry, but
No, you are not sorry one bit, woman.
I guess I always like the grim and gory stories more for a reason.
Blood and viscera.
There's still more.
That was all that was left around the single mare that stood in the middle of the campsite. Her head hung low as she trembled silently. The only movement within sight came from the fiery embers that dimly lit the surroundings. Broken bodies had created a bloodbath, staining the ground with their tattered remains. The stench of gore filled her nostrils as she took slow, steady breaths. She lifted her head slightly, watching the fire intently with her glowing, crimson eyes. They did not move or waver from the dancing flame as they shone through the tattered leather mask that remained on her face. That mask, old, bloody, ruined.
Yay.
Just like her.
Love it.
Those simple thoughts ran through her mind as she shut her eyes, listening to the howling of the night. Her weathered,
It's called
torn
Screams
cloak
of the
flailed
Damned.
about, the wind rushing around her. She slowly lifted her forehoof to her muzzle, dragging it along the end of the worn leather. The stitching held together the opening of where her mouth would be, sealing it completely.
Why is her mouth sewed though?
She wondered how ponies could hear her words through such a mask. Things like that didn't matter anymore. Nothing did. All that mattered was that she was
What
alone.
mattered?
Nothing would undo what she
not
had
alone.
done. She knew that too much time had passed for any form of redemption.
Yeah.
She was a damned soul.
Hey, I told you.
When she gradually opened her eyes, she had been given a new clarity of the world. No longer was it shrouded in darkness, nor did she have a limited point of view. She glanced down and realized something was in her hoof. That wretched piece of cloth laid in the center of her hoof. empty eye sockets staring back at her.
I don't know why, but I really like this artwork. Holy crap.
As she regarded it, dumbfounded, she took her forehoof
There's rib cages.
and ran it along her bare muzzle. She could feel the wind brushing gently over her cheeks
Like
as
that.
tears began to fall from her yellow, crimson eyes. As she began to sob harder, a ghostly figure of a pink mare stood before her, a sad expression upon her face.
That's a mean expression.
Soon, Kersey. I will find you. I promise.
The mare whispered to herself as she watched her beloved shout to the heavens, demanding an answer as to where her magpie was.
No. Mm-mm.
Where is she? Where is she?
Dang. Well, that ended spectacularly. That wasn't a word, but quiet. Heard a horn. Hold up. There's a horn outside. We're good. Ha ha ha. Anyways. How y'all doing? I hope you guys didn't do the video. I will get off it with you guys. Subscribe, like up the notifications. See y'all all in the next one. And as always, peace out.